Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Morris with my good friend, my trusted ally, Marty Reid. Marty, you seem abnormally grumpy today. Thank you for coming. And this is going to be a key thing because I think people will look at this and say, "Where do I get all my sage advice?" And now I'm showing people who that is.
Okay.
So the point of today's episode is I want to get your take because how many years have you run your own business?
This particular business, we started in 2010.
Okay. So you got 16
we're
years.
16 years into it.
So actually, that's roughly the same time that I started my business.
Yes.
And we are so lucky to be in each other's lives. That's what you were going to say?
Oh, my God. Where's he going? I thought this was going to be an intelligent conversation.
As I said, you're in rare form.
Okay.
So one of the things that I think is important, as I was telling somebody before we were doing this, is that since 2010, since we've known each other, anytime that I had a business-related question that was more of a, not an accounting question, but I wanted to get what's a real take on the positive and the negative, that I would always call you for these things. And what I always thought it was gracious that you would take the time to hear this out. But I realized that there's a lot of people that they don't have a business coach or they will pay a business coach. And that business coach's advice is always do what I'm telling you, but they're not teaching you why.
Is that a fair thing? True. Yeah, it's a lot of it. And the other part of that is a lot of them really don't have real world experience that, or they don't have a total understanding of your business. It's like a playbook. One play fits all.
So I want to break that down into two pieces.
Okay.
The first thing is I actually worked. So when I worked in radio, there were people who were managers in radio. And do you know how you get to be the manager in radio? All the other people quit and go to another station or they're not very good. So you're the
next in line.
You're the best of what's left. Okay.
Yeah.
So the best of what's left becomes that manager, but then there's like a roadblock because you can't go any higher. So they will say, I can't go any higher, so I'm going to start my own business. That business is to teach you so you can be an advertising agency like I am, or you can be a business coach. But they've still never run a business.
Well,
see what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So, but they'll say, but I worked with businesses. Do you not find it disingenuous that people that work with businesses, they're not working on the back end of it. They're working more on the front end of things, that they don't really flush out like how it works day to day. Like you've actually had to grind in a business to take it from zero to whatever it ends up being, right? And that's a different thing than just, I'll help you do this.
Well, we'll take my business. I'm in the dumpster business. And as I tell people, I'm just a trash man. I had zero experience, had no idea what the industry was, but I did see that there was a need. And so I spent about 9 months. I probably told you this before.
Yeah, but they don't know.
Okay. I went around the country and I interviewed and met with whatever dumpster company owner would meet with me. And because I was looking to come to a conclusion that said, yes, what you're thinking, there's a need for this. And I came to that conclusion that there was a need. So, going through that experience, that's how I had to kind of take baby steps, learn all the little idiosyncrasies of the business. And there are so many of them. People say, well, people throw trash in your dumpster and away you go. No, it doesn't work that way. There's all kind of things that have to go with that. You have to give advice to people who call in. You have to help them make a decision. You have to protect their property. You have to make sure your drivers are safe. On and on it goes. And unless you've experienced that, you're going to get the response, well, you just drop a dumpster and people fill it up and you haul trash away. And I remember somebody said that to me once. And so I had my phone and I pulled up my phone and I showed him a picture of someone who had actually filled the dumpster. It was yard waste. They were cutting bushes, that kind of thing. And they filled it up, I am not kidding you, about 6 feet higher than the top of the dumpster. So I called this gentleman up and I said, sir, it's clearly marked. There's labels on the dumpster. Don't fill above this line. We can't take that. And what do you think that person said to me?
I'm going to assume they said it's your job to take this.
They were not that nice. They said, well, that's your problem. And of course, now you have to understand customer relations and how to save your face because of all the social media. No, we get these people, and I hate to say it, that go to social media and you go, man, some people need to get a life, right? But anyways, I had to explain to that gentleman that, no, it wasn't my problem because I'd be coming back and I'd just be dumping everything in his driveway. Now, you bring in a business consultant, you're talking about, they have no clue that this stuff goes on, or the guy who tries to hide the paint cans, and how do you deal with that, the EPA, everything else that goes on. So that's a long-winded answer to your question.
Well, one of the things that, because we know each other so well, and I always love when you tell the story how this started, but when you, instead of just, you find the niche, but you were looking for something to be involved in, right? So it wasn't like, I'm just going to do dumpsters because somebody, the most common thing that I get about you, okay?
Oh my God.
Is
he's talking to the neighbors.
Yeah. I'm talking to this guy down the street. No, everybody who wants to start a dumpster company somehow gets to me before they get to you.
Oh, really?
So they will, because they look at what you've done marketing wise. And so, because if you look at what you've done, you've run more spots than the big car dealers, than the biggest window people and all that. So they're thinking that guy started with a ton of money to do this, right? So everybody wants to do that part because they want to do the shiny thing. They don't care about the back end. They want people to know who they are, right? So they'll say, tell me how he started it. And I said, you need to talk to him, because it's not I'm just going to get a logo and I'm going to do this, because you've plotted these things out. You've run P&Ls. You've seen, here's what's good, here's what's bad, here's where growth is. Talk about how you figured that out. Like when you're starting this, you figured out that you could make money before you started it, right?
Unfortunately, I was a bean counter in a former life. And bean counters by nature are not people you want to hang around with, okay?
Trust me.
I don't mean to insult her.
No, trust
Let's
me.
say
I don't
some
want to
of
be
them,
here
okay?
either.
So I felt I had an advantage because I never do anything unless I feel really secure about the numbers, so to speak. Call it a budget, call whatever you want, and I will beat the numbers to death. But the other thing I would tell you is when I decided to start this, and you kind of alluded to this about, what are the steps you went through or whatever, to me, the most important thing, which bean counters don't generally have, is an understanding of marketing. But in a former life, I also did sales. So I look at sales simply and go, okay, what's sales? It is fulfilling the need of somebody that they have. It's not convincing somebody to do something. It's you have to have a product that fulfills a problem or a need that they have. And so when I looked at this business, that's how I approached it. I said, okay, what's the need? Nobody was supplying smaller dumpsters for the homeowner. The product, nobody was putting out a good product. Customer service was terrible. And I just said, there are so many things in this business that are not being addressed. But I researched all of that. I asked all of those questions. So I'll pat myself on the shoulder. If somebody wants to know, I guess you're saying I built a reputation out there. I just didn't decide to go in the dumpster business. I researched the heck out of it from all angles. At least I felt it.
But it wasn't, you have a passion for trash. I'm not saying that to mock it. What I'm saying is so many people, you have two things. So especially in like what I'm doing, there are people that sell radio or TV or whatever, and they'll look at the way that I'm dressed or the way that I'm talking to somebody or whatever it is, and they'll go, I could do that. You probably could.
My answer to those people always is, well, then do it.
Correct.
Now, so let me stop you for a minute, okay? One of the things that I get a kick out of is, you call it the passion. I believe that, this is just me, I have a different side of the brain that's working than perhaps other people.
The other side is a rotting pumpkin.
I don't care what the business is. The business is irrelevant, okay? One time, in a former life, I owned all kind of real estate, and I'd get, well, I want to do what you do. And I would go, well, what is it you think I do? And they go, well, you have all these properties. You're a landlord. You buy, you sell. And I go, that's not what I do. That's just the byproduct.
Well, that's the thing that you see.
What I do is I go get bank financing. That's the business. Yeah. Let's take a car dealer, okay? You could go, well, what do you think a car dealer does? Well, they sell cars and blah, blah, blah. I go, no, they don't. That's just the product.
Right.
I go, what those people do is get floor plans. They get people qualified for loans. It's you have to understand.
The car is the widget. The business is everything behind it. It's a Wizard of Oz thing. It is. Right. You're seeing all this other shit out here, but really at the end of the day, it's a guy cranking behind a curtain.
Yeah. Well, put it this way. When people say, I often get a kick out of the people that they say, do what you love. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what I love.
I love this part.
Okay? It's called make money. Okay? I could care less about trash. I could care less about selling cars. The name of the game in business is make money. And when you tell me you have a passion for this or that, I go, yeah, you're going to fail. Go open an ice cream shop. I don't know.
Well, but that's part of the thing that I say this a lot. You probably heard me say this, where someone will be talking about, because whenever I'm talking to you about this stuff, the thing that you normally have to ask is, do you want to check? I don't even get to that point. I literally want you to understand what we're doing. The most important thing is that I'm teaching you, because sales is just transference of knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so many people that do what I do just come in with a piece of paper like, do you want to buy this?
Yeah.
And they can't explain what you're buying, but they'll say, it does this. Can you show me a break?
I don't care.
Right.
What's it do for me?
But that's what I'm saying is it's what other people might react to without a guarantee.
Yeah.
And I can't take that shit. So I had to mathematically break it down to say, this is how this works. This is how you get a return, to look at it like it's an investment. It's a stock, right? But one of the things that I will say is it wouldn't kill you not to do this, right? It wouldn't kill you not to do what I'm doing. But I would fucking kill you to do this for another day, right? That's not passion. That is obsession about something that I have an interest in, that I literally would do this. I literally just had a 3-year fight in a court with somebody to keep doing this, to pour money into this thing, not because it's right or wrong. It is, you're trying to stop me from doing the thing I want to do. And I will fucking bury you, because this is what I meant to do. What I like about your approach is, this is not what you're meant to do. What you're meant to do is to make money, right? Is to find things.
As I said, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think that a lot of people that start businesses go, oh, and I can make money doing this.
Right.
How do you know? Did you do all the homework? Did you figure out there was a need?
Right.
Do you have the capital to keep it going? On and on those things go. My passion is, I enjoy running a business. I enjoy fixing every little thing that comes up. If I walk into my bathroom at work and I don't think it's clean enough, I start cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. That is, and I know that by taking that approach, well, I know every damn number in my business to the point of absurdity. Okay.
But I would bet you I'm the only person that when you want to show that I'm like, show it to me. Because most people are like, oh, it looks good. But I want to know. I want to know everything. And I think that is why we're able to get along, is because.
Well, let's not go that far.
I don't mean we like each other. I don't mean we like each other. I said we get along.
I don't know that I want to get along.
Because we break it down and say,
kidding.
No. I'm just saying one of the things that the reason I always come to you when I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, because you're going to give me both sides of it, because you're going to be analytical. There's not a how you feel about anything.
I did mention I don't know what side my brain is earlier, because one of my downfalls is I am extremely analytical. I'm one of those guys, feed me. I don't do things on emotion.
But that is one of the things I want to tap into, is because, again, I will give this analogy when people, you've seen me do this to the boys when they come in. So we'll do the pitch and we go over the numbers and all that. And then the boys will come in separate, your sons. And when we're doing it, you can see they're glazed over. They just want to know show me the last page. That's all they care about. And I always get red ass with them, because I'm like, you need to understand the last page doesn't mean anything except for the return on investment over time. Mm-hmm. I need to be better about it, but most people glaze over because it's Tommy Boy when he's trying to sell the brake parts and they're trying to get into the thing and they keep getting no's and he goes, okay. And they just pick up and keep moving. That is the business that I'm in. It's either yes or no, and they move on to the next town. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit. To me, I don't care if you do it. I care that you understand it. And that is a passion about, you're going to get boned by somebody if I don't explain this to you. Now, if you choose after that to get piped in the face, that's up to you. I don't care. But what I notice is that people that are more analytical succeed because the ups and downs don't mean as much. Do you know what I mean? Because you're kind of seeing ahead of time, like.
Okay, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
I think I've told you this before. My sons came into this with limited business experience, okay? But they decided they wanted to be part of the company. And one of the very first things I ever asked them was, as part of their, okay, now I got to go through this process of teaching them what I know, not, my business experience. I said, what do you think business is? Oh, well, we rent dumpsters and we do this and we do that. It's kind of like the before. And I always told them, that's not what we do. That is not what business is. Do you know what it is?
What your business is?
Any business. I don't care what the business is. They're all the same.
To me, every business is, when you start it, it is constantly evolving and growing. Because I look at it again, I look at everything like it's a stock. So when Apple starts at 0, it is to continue innovating to grow with the opportunity. And the way I look at it is always to grow enough to where somebody wants to buy it, so you can go sit on a beach if you want.
Okay, let me stop you. That's not what business is.
Okay.
I told you previously, I said, my passion is I enjoy running a business. What you just described to me is running a business,
right,
and making those things happen. Business is, in my mind, solving problems. Every single day. Let's see, I can have employee problems. I can have equipment problems. I can have customer problems. I can have a multitude of problems. And I guarantee you, every day, if you own a business, those problems are going to arise. It might be one a day. It might be 10 in one day. Okay? Business is how it's like in life when you get kicked. who's successful? Those that pick themselves
Right.
up and move on.
What's the phrase?
It's
Fall
the
down
same.
7 times, get up
If
8.
you freak out and you're in business because you get a customer who calls and they're all upset and this and that, the job is, how do I deal with that problem? Because it will arise. That's business.
Right.
I'm a remodeler. The housewife, after the job's done, goes and walks around and looks at the woodwork or the baseboard and goes, why is that crack so wide there? You got to solve the problem, right?
Right.
That's what I tried to teach my kids. I go, every single day there's going to be a problem. I'm sorry. It's how you deal with it that determines the success of your business.
So
Does that sound right? I don't know.
don't look at Nate. He's
Now
sleeping.
remember, Nate, I said I got my brain's kind of confused. So,
But again, but that's the main reason I want to record as much of this as possible
Oh,
because
God.
we have these conversations that will last for hours. And one,
I'm tired of you taking advantage of me.
first of all, you have nothing to do. I come in here and this thing is running like a machine, and every once in a while they come in just want to know if you want to eat lunch. So, but I thought when you used to do the radio show that was a remodeling showcase, it was a brilliant way to introduce you and frog hauling to all these other remodelers that you did something different than anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I had Mark. How I would respond to that was, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. My approach in marketing has always been, if I get an immediate sell, that's great. And I should qualify this and say, but what I was really after was, how do I get my name out there?
Yeah.
How is it when somebody goes to Google, they go, oh, I've heard of that. That's how I felt because let's face it, my product, you may never use your entire lifetime. You may use it once in 20 years, once in 10 years. So it was the name recognition. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
This is how every conversation goes anyway. You just don't know it yet. What I was going to say about that is that there are so many people that I talk to, especially people that start up.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I'm the first person they call. Not because they want my business acumen. I
want to start getting paid for these referrals.
You're getting paid for you're getting paid for this show right now. Nate's going to pay you out of his tax return.
Okay.
They'll call me because someone will pass my name along, or they'll see the videos that I put out on Facebook and Instagram and all that are just business related videos, just to teach, right? So here's what you should know, kind of things. But they all have the same problem. They didn't bother to figure out if there's a hole, right? So if you can fill that hole, if you can be productive that way, or what the return on investment is. Meaning, if you're a roofer so a $10,000 roof should bring you at least $4,000 in profit every single time you do it. A lot of these guys were working for a roofing company and don't realize, yes, you could make 40% on it, but you need a building. You got to buy materials for the next. See what I mean?
That's the budget.
But that's what I'm saying. The way that you laid this out, again, when we met 10, 15 years ago, you knew where you were going to be, but you weren't guessing. And I think most people that start a small business go,
well, let me stop you for a minute. I didn't know where I was going to be.
But you didn't think you were going to fail.
I think when you first open the doors, there's always the element of fear, because what you believe, all the budgets you run, you still have to execute, and the market still has to accept what your belief is, so to speak. And that's why I say I think it's so important to do your homework as much as you can't. I can't explain it. You need to. Well, let me back up, because I can't take full credit here. I came to the conclusions about opening my business that there was, quote, a need, and that I would be kind of a niche product, but that niche was needed. I tested myself. I hired a marketing research firm, and I said, their goal was to prove me right or wrong. And I gave them all of my thoughts, why I thought my product and what my research had found was needed in the marketplace. And they came back and said, you're right. The things that, and then I had more confidence, so to speak. But to me, that's just I think it, I don't know. I was listening to TV and I don't know, some commercial. This just came on and the interviewer said to the person, do you have a fear of failure? And the response was, I never fear. I don't have any fear of failure. I went, whoa. I wish I thought like that, but that appears to me you have blinders on.
See, I wouldn't have thought that with you.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. I never think I'm going to lose,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it is my ability to deal with pain. Like, it's not been easy to do this. It is that I know I will tell people, they'll say, well, you got to take care of your health, blah, 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 blah. And just jokingly, I'll be like, it doesn't matter. I will never die. I don't mean that in a cocky way. I just literally don't see that. Right. So there are times that I have been afraid of something momentarily. And I'm like, I'm always going to win. I don't know why that is. And the win is just, sometimes the win is just surviving.
I have that confidence.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
but I mean, you can't be, I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't have an arrogance that said, I'm going to be, and
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I mean, like I said earlier, business is solving problems. And I anticipate that I would have the problems. And I'd already thought about, as part of this, okay, well, if this happens, how do I solve that problem? I just didn't know when you start a new business what all the problems would be.
But it wasn't necessarily you were afraid to fail. It was, see, I would look at it differently. I wouldn't call it fear.
I was not afraid to fail, but I was not arrogant to say, I'm not going to fail. I had the confidence that I wouldn't fail.
Right.
But I don't, if you're, look, it's simple. We talk to people about it. If you're overconfident, you're kind of stupid. I'm sorry. That's the way I personally feel. Yes, you have to have confidence. You can't be a mouse. You've got to go forward and take that hill, that's business. So anyway.
But I do think that's important because there's so many, especially this job that I do is constantly meeting a new person and you always see an unfinished project. And what I mean by it, you can see the things that they what's that book, Soar with Your Strengths and all that shit? Mm-hmm. You can see that they are banking on, they believe this thing, which is fantastic. But it's almost like the more they talk, they go from 100% to 75% to 50%. And you see this thing where it's like, there's a hole that they can't fill. So if they have any resistance, they're going to fall into this negative side. And I think that you can be afraid of things and you can have trepidation about it. But I do think if you're going to go all in, that is now your world. You know what I mean?
Better go all in.
Yeah. Like the sad part is you're going to lose people that because you have to be so all in, it's like a marathon runner.
Well, let me, I look at my business as this is the golden goose. This is my baby, however you want to define it. And when I first started, I went 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. I never left the house without a notepad because I may have gotten that call. And that was 7 days a week. I hand-typed invoices. I hand-typed routes. My day didn't end until the work was done for that day, and that was typically the schedule. Now, today, we're totally different. We're totally computerized dispatch. I mean, it kind of, that's just the progression. But if you own a business, I see so many people, they think, I go in once or twice a week. I would lose my mind. Yeah. I mean, I go to Florida for the winter.
Yeah, but if I call you, you still pick up the phone.
I'm not on vacation.
Right. But you've earned that. I mean, you're 98 years old and you're still doing
pretty
this.
close, yeah. But I got better looking as I got older. I don't know what happened to you.
What, are you kidding me? I think people obviously can look at a young Denzel Washington here. I don't know what you're talking about. Before we wrap for this week, what is the most important thing if they are, they got their passion? Mm-hmm. If there's one thing you could say to them that would get them off just this is passion versus being prepared, what is the most important thing they should do first? So let's just say they're going to start a roofing company. What is the most important thing they should do first?
I said it earlier. Forget that you're opening a roofing company. Who gives a rat's ass, so to speak?
Please don't curse, damn it.
Okay. Is it going to make money? I only do things that make money.
And greed is not a bad thing. Excuse me. Greed is a sin.
Let me qualify you.
Okay. Oh, I'll qualify you next. Go ahead.
Having a desire to make money, a lot of money, is not greed at all. Okay? Keep that crap out on the street. Do I provide a living for 20 people? Do I make sure that their family is fed? Do I contribute to society? Okay? So, because I have a desire to make money, other people benefit. That is not greed. I'm happy that I have the ability to help society and my community. But it comes from, I'm not here because I like to make candles, okay? I am here because I like to make money. That's how I think. That makes sense?
Yep. Because greed can open the door to take care of other people.
You can call it greed. It's not greed.
I don't want to call it greed. That sounds bad.
But I mean, you use that term. I'm just saying.
I'm not calling you greedy.
My desire to make money. Okay? I think that's how the world goes around. I mean, I think you're a fool if you don't think that the world revolves around money, at least here where I live.
Right.
And I want to take advantage of that. So.
Well, I'm glad I got to take advantage of you this week. I will be taking advantage of Marty again next week. We will see you next week.
Okay. Thanks a lot.